We've had a precedent along this line. And I always say, whatever Falana is saying, whatever anybody is saying, in the law, in the security law, is there such provision that somebody could be arrested and be rearrested outside the courtroom? If such exists, then this one is not out of the blues. So that is just one thing. America could. Of course, America is a very formidable partner in the world. It's just not only Nigeria. I think they could comment, even if it happens on their own shores. So they could venture their comments on issues that looks like anti-democratic. But does it make it? If it does, it means that the law stipulated otherwise. So for me, it's not only Falana, it was not only Showore, it was not only the DSS and including the judge that were there. There were other people that could attest that yes, these people rearrested him, because that's where I have a problem. If it was just truly inside a courtroom, then I think it will be anti-democratic.
All right. Okay. Obidima, journalist and international affairs analyst. Good to have you here. Obidima, please move to this side. No, move to this side, please. Thank you. I'm telling the public what's that. I want you to move, yes, so I can have eye contact with you. I don't want you talking behind my head. Nobody will sit there.
Please, let the eye contact.
Why are you afraid of eye contact?
A lot of things are going on.
And eye contact is the problem? Obidima, I want to look at you when I speak with you. All right. Good to have you, Obidima.
Thank you.
All right, then. So what do you think about this here, this story? And, of course, it says the U.S. has raised concern and warns against anti-democratic processes.
Well, I watched that video. And there's nothing for the DSS to deny in that video. In fact, I sat down, I've read history. I've also read part of... in the process of my studies, legal history. And I've not seen and heard where this thing has happened in the whole world. You see, the government should not take this thing lightly. It has really brought the image of this country down. And if our government is thinking properly, they should know that this can affect the nation economically. It will make the investors begin to look at our system as nothing to come in to throw in their money. You see, they look at things one way. They look at things maybe from political angle. They look at things from the way maybe a lion is on the throne and nobody has the right to rise against that lion.
Okay, what do you think about, before you give your own analysis on that, it's a different thing entirely. What do you think about what the US is saying concerning this?
That's where I'm really going. Because the US is a bastion of democracy and rule of law. I also heard when Obama was defending democracy in a video last week. You see, in international community, international affairs, US is the hegemon, is the leader. And when once they begin to make comments like this, they are drawing your attention before you transit to a pariah state. They are drawing your attention to take steps to right the things that are what the international community may consider abnormal. So, if US is making statement now, it is for the government of Nigeria not to take it lightly. And if they are not part of it, what happened? By now, the president would have sacked the DSS for bringing that kind of odium on the nation. But because we have not had anything towards that.
Okay, we got your point. We have so much time to talk about this. I just wanted to get your thoughts on what the American government was saying, and then we'll move on. So, right, U.S. raises concern, warns against anti-democratic actions. And then we move on to another story here. It says 9 ex-governors whose cases are forgotten. You find that in the Punch. 9 ex-governors whose corruption cases are forgotten. The trial of former Governor Orji Kalu of Abia State for fraud finally ended a few days ago. Interestingly, it lasted 12 years, and on the 12th month of 2019, he was sentenced to 12 years imprisonment. Apparently, Kalu's conviction trended both in the traditional and social media for two reasons. Many Nigerians, especially his political rivals, had before then believed he was untouchable due to his perceived close relationship with President Muhammadu Buhari. Secondly, being a serving senator and current chief whip of the Senate, as well as an influential member of the ruling All Progressives Congress on the Southeast, most people already concluded that his sins had been forgiven. However, the Punch reports that aside Kalu, who will face the chastising whip of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, there are 9 other former state governors that the anti-graft agency similarly accused of corruption, which have yet to have their day in court. They are Theodore Orji, Femi Silva, Godswill Akpabio, Ali Wamako, Ali Modu Sharif, Rabiu Kwankwaso, Peter Odili, Danjuma Goje, and Sullivan Chime. Orji, who is the chief of staff to the convicted Kalu, succeeded the latter in 2007 and ruled till 2015 before becoming a senator. On November 21st, 2018, Orji, who represents Abia Central Senatorial District at the National Assembly, was invited over allegations that he mismanaged 27 billion naira during his tenure as governor. The invitation he was lent was sequel to a series of petitions written against the former governor shortly after he left office in 2015. He was accused of diverting billions of naira disbursed to Abia State by the Central Bank of Nigeria for small and medium enterprise. Timipre Silva, who is now a Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, governed oil-rich Bayelsa State between 2008 and 2012. According to the EFCC, the former governor, alongside Francis Okonkwo, Benga Balogun, and Samuel Obuku, allegedly conspired and used 3 companies: Marlene Maritime Limited, Eat Catering Services Limited, what a name, Eat Catering, Halloween Blue Construction and Logistics Limited, to launder about 19.2 billion naira. The money was allegedly diverted from the coffers of Bayelsa State between 2009 and 2012. The court case against Silva commenced in 2012 when the EFCC, through a motion filed by its lawyer, Mr. Festus Keyamo, now Minister of State for Labor and Employment, sought for an interim order for feature of 48 houses allegedly belonging to Silva, which was granted by Justice Mohammed. Keyamo is also pursuing a separate 6 billion naira fraud case against Silva before Justice Ivo Chukwu of the Federal High Court on behalf of the Commission. The anti-graft agency, through another lawyer, Mr. Rotimi Jacobs, instituted a separate case before Justice Mohammed. Danjuma Goje, a former governor of Gombe State, Senator Danjuma Goje, was arraigned in 2012 shortly after the end of his 8-year tenure. He was accused of fraud to the tune of 5 billion naira, and the EFCC pursued the case from 2011 to 2019. The Punch reported that over 100 million naira was spent on legal fees alone as 25 witnesses were called, while 150 exhibits were tendered in court. Let me jump from Goje to Godswill Akpabio. Self-acclaimed uncommon transformer has been under the probe of the EFCC since his 8-year tenure ended in 2015. Akpabio, who was the governor of the oil-rich Akwa Ibom State, was accused of mismanaging 108 billion naira belonging to the state and was squeezed on October 16, 2015. EFCC wrote letters to Zenith Bank, Keystone, First City Monument Bank, Sky Bank, now Polaris Bank, and United Bank for Africa, demanding information on the state's account. The anti-graft agency also extended its invitation to the Accountant General, the Auditor General, the Speaker, and the Clerk of the House of Assembly. Following the allegations, the Akwa Ibom State government refused to cooperate with the EFCC and took the commission to court and obtained an interim injunction restraining the EFCC and other federal government agencies from probing its finances. Few months after, Justice Untong of the, I hope I got it right anyways, of Akwa Ibom State, Akwa Ibom State High Court sitting in Ikotepene, Akwa Ibom State, vacated the order investigations. Akpabio, amid the allegations, defected to the All Progressives Congress and met with President Muhammadu Buhari in London, a photo of which went viral on social media. At a grand welcome rally in August 2018, Akpabio said the anti-graft agency had cleared him of all corruption charges. Those petitions to the EFCC have been sorted out. As I stand today, I have not been charged to court because nothing was found against me. The EA, however, responded to its spokesperson, Wilson Wajarin, that the cases against Akpabio hasn't been closed. The EFCC does not close cases or give clearance to anybody, Wajarin had said. Akpabio, in July 2019, was appointed Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs by Buhari. No charges have been filed against him till date. Then there's Ali Wamako, there's Peter Odili, there's Sullivan Chime, and there's Ali Modu Sharif, and let's not forget Rabiu Kwankwaso, all who, for most of them, had cases from 2011, 2014, 2016 for Ali Peter Odili had his own from 2007. That's when his was initiated, March 23rd, 2007. Justice Ibrahim Buba granted Odili's prayers, including a declaration that the EFCC investigation was invalid, unlawful, unconstitutional, null and void. And since then, it has been left that way. And so on. Emmanuel, your thoughts here? So many ex-governors. I know that one time when we spoke about this, you did mention how it just seems as if it's ex-governors, the EFCC and the ICPC seem to pick on these, anti-graft agencies. And, to the past presidents.
Of course. It's still a problem for me, but it's a problem that I might have solutions for.
I think so.
But I think the 9 governors, their cases have not been forgotten. First of all, let's start from those who have their perpetual injunction for the EFCC not to probe them. If it's not vacated, they won't probe them. And so those of them, out of the 9, if there are those who have such, they are at bay until proven otherwise. So, as for the other ones, while Lodge's this judicial ding-dong was going on for 12 years, nobody knew, especially when he defected to APC. A lot of people rushed to conclusions that his sins have been forgotten. But he's now in jail for 12 years, perhaps, even though appeals are coming for that. But for now, the pronouncement of the court is that he's been jailed for 12 years. So it means whenever they pick up this, we remember vividly about Goje's zone when he indicated interest in the Senate presidency and all that. But I think rumors, because Emmanuel Ndukwe has no way of verifying the rumors, whether they were real or not, now said that he was prevailed upon to drop his ambition so that his case will be forgotten and all that. Nobody knows for sure. But I think their cases are not forgotten. Sometime, someday, they will be resurrected and they will be handled accordingly.
All right, then. Okay, we got your
I want to believe.
We got your thoughts on that. Obitima.
Well, my own take on this is that this issue of EFCC as governors, they are really causing a lot of distraction in the polity. I think the best way forward is that we should do what Turkey did. We should get all these people, let the government discuss, grant them amnesty, let them bring whatever they have, and let us move forward. This issue, all this drama and all those things, is overshadowing the real thing, the very nasty economic situation we are today. Nobody is talking about how this economy will come out from the woods. How do we move forward as a nation? How will
is this not part of it? How
no.
It's also by punitive. It's also by punitive actions.
There's a statement
people who have jeopardized the process ought to be punished.
Yeah.
So that the ones who come on that same position learn not to do so.
Excuse me. There are also a very skillful way to go around it, so that it will be a win-win situation. The society will even benefit from it more. What did Turkey do? Turkey granted amnesty and made these people to invest their loot within the system to generate employment and to help in the economic growth of the district. And it worked. And there's nothing wrong if we do it here. Because all this forfeiture to government, they forfeited their social property. What is it going to yield to government? Can they manage it? Or are they going to sell it to their cronies at the end of the day? So if we kind of gather these people, say, look, you have so this thing, we have discovered so this thing, and this is the plan of government towards it. Yes, this is the way you have to invest it, and this is what you go into, and the number of people you will employ. And if government want to be part of this thing, the government can be a co-owner of this thing to ensure that this thing benefits the society. So if all these things we are doing, I will always say, you see, the best way to move forward, when you come as a government, start your own government, build a wall between your government and the previous government. If you continue to look back, that it can never move forward. And this has really held us down for close to 5 years now. I'm not a kind of endorsing corruption, no. Jesus Christ, a woman was caught in the act in the Bible. And the issue was brought before Jesus Christ. And at the end, he said, look, go and sin no more. amnesty was granted, and that woman never went back to that kind of life again. I don't think we should be even more holier than God himself. We now begin to put a system that can curb corruption. From the point we are granting amnesty, from the point we are checkmating what happened in the past, we now begin to put a proper system that will check corruption. Look, let me tell you, this corruption, even civil servants, they are into this more than politicians. The top civil servants, we don't focus on governance and all those things, but billions of naira are in the hands of top civil servants and in the hands of other political office holders. And we are talking of governors and governors. The best thing is to see how can we gather this money and reinvest it through also these people.